Live and direct from Kunstmuseum, Liechtenstein. It's TEDxVaduz 2013. Radically open.
Hello, my name is Katja. I'm an artist. I would like to talk today about my work a little bit and why I think cute images of cute animals online is an approximation of future technologies to come. To kind of explain why I see it this way, I will start with just saying that even before I was an artist, my main interests have been this sort of connection between the most contemporary layer of our society, which is like trends and pop culture and technology and contemporary art, with sort of some of the deepest processes that these things are coming from, which is like geology of our planet and ecosystems and human beings as a certain species and relationship between human beings and other species and the evolutionary process itself. And I just noticed that internet is sort of the place where a lot of these things are present at the same time. A lot of these sort of references and the things themselves are kind of flattened online in a way of just text pages and images, and everything is in a way equal, and you can sort of look at things from a different perspective because you realize this is a digital image, but it's also some kind of energy consuming entity that is stored somewhere in the server, and I just like to think about this difference. And my first art project was called Post-Internet Survival Guide, which was a book that I made which collected works of a lot of young artists that were in a way also working with a similar kind of question, I thought, of what is the kind of contemporary human condition in relation to this ongoing accelerating technology, and also what is art in relation to these accelerating technologies. And this is an example of a spread from that book, where it's just a spread about the human eye as both a sensor and as something to be censored, as a unique human ID that everybody has. And this is an image, just a digital collage that I made. And this is one of the points where I realized that the digital things and the real things can be recombined in all these ways that are somehow exciting, and they open new conceptual possibilities of what the world is and what technology is and what the future will be. And the next project that I did directly dealt with this idea of how you can use digital images to predict the future, to speculate on the future. And this project was about kind of the future, World Expo event in Africa that I did with Femke, who will be speaking today. And what we did, we just made a lot of images where we combined found images of African context and these sort of forms that looked futuristic. And in a way, we built a narrative about what this future African reality can be, just based on Googling images and making digital collages. And this is like a miner mining for some kind of weird material. And this got me thinking on this idea of image itself, and then image the way it exists in attention economy, which is internet. And basically, internet is fueled by the attention of millions and almost billions of human beings. And our attention is a scarce resource that everybody is competing for. And in a way, it's an economy. But also, our attention is an evolutionary mechanism that developed throughout the human and animal evolution. And that got me thinking about the nature of the image, which is, in a way, I thought, like a material carrier for some kind of attention-grabbing intensity that is worth spreading, or that somebody is creating and putting out in the world. And online, there's just so many of these images that there's a fierce competition of what is going to succeed in a way. And I've been looking at this trends of successful formats and images online as a visual artist. And what I also realized is that the huge amount of attention still goes to images of animals and cute animals and animals being animals and animals doing all kinds of things, and that there's something in the animal form itself which is very popular and very attractive and still beating the designs that human beings came up with and the images that human beings came up with. And this kind of got me very interested also because I spend a lot of hours looking at these images, and I'm mostly interested in this place where these two streams come together, the human-made technology and the animal. And these images like a baby flamingo in a car wrapped in a cotton blanket, or this image of goats jumping on a trampoline, or this image of a monkey trying to do something on a laptop. It's sort of, for me, that seemed like the most interesting place to look at. And this idea that in order for Justin Bieber to promote his brand, he needs a beluga whale next to him because beluga whale makes him more attractive, and maybe even Justin Bieber also makes beluga whale more attractive, and you don't know who is this marketing for, and maybe this is an advertisement for a swimsuit that he's wearing. So I just made this series of papyrus prints where, in a way, it was kind of advertisements of animal form and the product and the sort of the celebrity all in one mixed together. And another one is this one where it's an image of a military dolphin which is wearing a little camera on his whatever this thing called, palm. Even this idea that American army is using dolphins as the military machines, but the only thing that they're adding is the camera. Everything else that they need, all the technologies that they need are in the dolphin itself. So the dolphin is a smart animal. You can train him. He swims really well. He does all these things, and they can have a communication with him. And I just see it as this weird cyborg assemblage of, and in the end, it's a cute image. And that's why I know about military dolphins, is because they're cute, and I wouldn't know about normal military machines. So I think this got me thinking, made me realize that animals are powerful technologies that have evolved by themselves, and the second interesting thing that it got me thinking is that the beauty is also a technology, and the bonding and the emotional warmth and the sexual competition and the fact that penguins form this beautiful arch just by themselves without even needing us humans to see it. It's part of the evolutionary sort of process, and it is a technology, it's a life technology. So I just started to see animals as these powerful technologies, and when I think about the future, I just realized that actually instead of predicting somehow the way robots will think or the kind of gadgets that will be around, the most radical perhaps thing to do is just to realize that this intensity of an animal is basically the future in itself. Like, we will be trying to approach technological products towards this intensity that a dog has. Like, if you compare an iPad to a dog, the dog wins, just because of how engaging it is and how emotionally attached we are to it, and how visually intense it is. And in a sense, the iPad is still like a weird, not even a jellyfish that is just lying. It's more like a little shell, and it doesn't have this intensity. So I started to make work which directly goes into that subject, and I just make sculptures with images that I find online of animal forms. And what happens, I think, is that first I use it. I try to approximate this future technology just by the future product, just by using an animal form. And at the same time, the image still stays attractive on this very basic level that even a baby human being is still attracted to it. And so therefore, it becomes an image in itself and it goes back online. So there's this sort of loop that I do, that I find an image online of this penguin family, I make sculptures, and then I have human beings interact with them, or just the sculpture standing in a gallery. I take a photo, I put it back online, and there's this sort of attention loop that I'm exploring. And this is, I think, the kind of, the idea that I wanted to share today is just this maybe a slightly weird and out there feeling that if you look at the baby giraffe bonding with the mother giraffe, this is the closest to the future technology visualization we can get. And I mean future by like radical future, the future where the computers are incredibly advanced to the point that they will start interacting with our emotions. And as soon as that happens, they will also become somewhat emotional. And another thing is the aesthetic intensity, aesthetic beauty of these things, which is unprecedented. There's nothing, again, if you see a movie and if you go to a zoo, I suggest everyone just to look at an animal again, thinking that it's a technology that evolved by itself, and how vastly more complex an animal brain is to a computer still, or a human brain is to a computer. And then this will allow, this allows me to look at nature from a different perspective, and also technology from a different perspective, and to see how these things will interact with each other in the future, which is basically where we're headed. And on the other hand, this is maybe a way to look at the future not from this feeling that everything is doomed. Of course, the extinction of animals is incredible these days, and the climate change and all these things. But during this process, there will be all these new mutant forms that are going to be born. And at a certain point, you will not be able to say who is the technology and who is the animal and who is cuter, a computer or two parrots bonding or a zebra. Thank you.